Weekly jobless claims, these are the numbers that everybody cares about, hitting the tape right now. Rick Santelli and Steve Leisman join us. But, Rick, we're going to go to you first. Rick.
Yes, 281,000. Now, that might not sound like a huge jump from 211, but let's put it in time perspective terms. This comps to the highest level since September 2017 when it was 300,000. So it is a big jump. Continuing claims are a week in arrears, so it's not showing up there yet. They're still showing 1.701 million. That follows just a whisker under 1.7 on the revision. But my guess is you're going to see those continuing claims numbers, of course, start to move higher as the initial claims start to stack up week to week. On Philly Fed, minus 12.7. Now, this is a March number, and it is a record drop because it was at 36.7, which means basically down to minus 12.7. That's just shy of a 50 point drop. We've never done that before. We still have leading indicators to go. The long end is definitely much more vibrant than the short end right now, so you want to pay particularly close attention to the yield curve. And we see rates overseas. You guys have been discussing it. You know, the ECB pulling out a bazooka, Christine Lagarde kind of reversing what she said earlier with regard to credit spreads against southern economies, trying to get some of those Italian and Spanish yields down. But, you know, the test tubes only take you so far. This is going to be a grand experiment and part two of really what started in the credit crisis. And, of course, we'll continue to monitor. Joe and the gang, back to you.
All right. Great. Thank you, Rick Santelli.
We're going to pop over to Steve Leisman, though, for just a second. As we're going from house to house and studio to studio. Steve, you there?
I am here, Andrew, and I'll just characterize this very quickly as those, first dark clouds that come before the arrival of the full storm. This pop up to 281,000 in jobless claims showed that a bunch of people, when this thing first hit, were laid off and were able to go and get to unemployment insurance claims. We have been doing some stories here on CNBC about some of the lines at some of the state offices, or difficulty in getting them. There aren't actually lines; they do it over, but just backups there. These are numbers that you had Ian Shepherdson on a couple hours ago saying they could get up to 2 million. And these could be very, very stark for at least several months or several weeks. And this will be a week that it'll be, these are from the prior week. This will be a week we'll start to get a lot of these numbers go on up. Some of the vulnerable sectors, 15 million employees in retail, 12 million in restaurants and bars. So you'll be looking to those sectors as the ones that will be the most vulnerable. And we'll see if the combination of the social safety net as it exists, unemployment insurance, and the one coming from the federal government is enough to tide people over to get back to work, hopefully in a couple months, Andrew.